So I don't know where I had reached. Let's see if I can just go back a bit and see. Okay, so I think this is where we were when we broke off. So basically, we are talking about the relationship between the IT profession and the clients, and how they interact. So we may not have anything, a contractual document to say this is how we expect our relationship to work together. Should I say the respect that we should each have for one another. Sometimes we don't have something contractual, but how should the IT professional behave? Because anything can happen, and it tantamounts to legal action, breach of contract, and so on and so forth. Or in some cases where secrets are spilled that we don't want necessarily to be spilled. So it's very difficult to define how that behavior should be. Unlike, for example, doctors, a doctor who takes the hypocritical oath, at first do no harm, where a doctor is expected to do whatever it takes to save life, not to do anything to jeopardize. But what is it that holds us as IT people accountable? So the codes of conduct is the most important thing. But first of all, before even the code of conduct comes in, how do I deal fairly with another person? So our ethical behavior is extremely important. How do I deal fairly with the other person? So take an example. If I'm an IT user for UMU systems, and the system is constantly picking information on what Sheba is doing when she's using UMU's system. So if I'm dealing fairly, it's almost like saying, let me eavesdrop on what Sheba is doing. Like if your people are talking, and if you're watching movies and you hear someone looking at someone at the door trying to listen in on what others are doing, you're basically trying to pick Lugambo so you can go and tell someone else, this is what somebody is saying. But fair, in terms of fairness, if you are not included in a conversation, you shouldn't be part and parcel. Fairness, being fair, making unreasonable demands. Then there's the subject of bribery. So in Uganda, this is a very touchy subject, bribery, because there are things that are very Ugandan, should I say, in behavior. But as a profession, we must differentiate between what is a gift and what is a bribe. A bribe is basically someone telling you to do something that you should be doing. You're asking for something, an extra favor. A gift is saying thank you for someone, telling someone for doing something for you and doing it well. So know the difference between the two. Yeah, these are just some of the things that can explain the difference between the two. So what can we learn from other professions? What can we learn from other professions? The first thing is a professional code of conduct. Yeah, a professional code of conduct. That code of conduct teaches us how we behave when we are working with other people. The IT user is a person who is using a hardware and a software that belongs to a particular organization, is part and parcel of a system. So the IT profession needs to understand the user's needs and capabilities. Yeah, the user's needs and capabilities. Think of it this way: when a patient goes to a doctor, there is knowledge a doctor has that the patient doesn't have, and an intimate knowledge. The doctor has intimate knowledge of the body's anatomy. Probably the patient comes, the patient, you as a patient, the layperson in the field of medicine, you barely know what is going on. You may not know, you may be scared, you don't know what is going on. You simply come and tell the doctor, I feel this, this, and this. Maybe you're worried, is it cancer? Am I dying? Or things like that. It's the doctor's job to put you at ease. And first of all, to understand what is your need. Your first need is to find out what's wrong. Two is also understand your capabilities, that your understanding of this thing is limited. So it's the same thing with the IT world. The non-IT individual, the layperson in the IT sector, has a need, but they also have their limited capabilities. Yeah. So it's even to protect them where they have their limited capabilities. That probably don't do this. You're making yourself open to the world, and things like that. So understand their needs and capabilities. Deliver products and services that best meet their needs. Then establish an environment that supports ethical behavior by users as well. So these are putting up like a codes of conduct, policies, ICT policies. Then we have also societies. How actions of an IT profession can affect societies. IT professions must not build systems that cause danger or harm. And this we have seen people do. There are those who create viruses for purposes of simply making money or holding others at ransom. Sorry, first remove this. Systems that can cause disasters and hardships to others. Unethical IT professionalism, this we have seen, we have discussed at length. Professionals have a responsibility for protecting society against such systems. You can raise awareness by also putting up barriers and protections for your users. Organizations should take action to ensure that there's good business ethics among employees. What actions you can think about, what actions you've taken within your own organization to ensure ethical behavior from employees, even for yourselves as professionals. Then you have the professional code of ethics. Some organizations have them, some don't, but these state the principles and core values of a particular organization. So they would, let's say, outline what the professional organization aspires to become. Then you list the rules and principles for each member of the organization. Why have these ethical codes of conduct? First of all, to improve ethical decision making in the professional environment, promoting high standards of practice and ethical behavior. Then you want to enhance trust and respect from the public. Then you also have a benchmark against which you can evaluate yourselves. So with IT profession, we don't have, like we've discussed before, we don't have a universal code of ethics like doctors and lawyers. We don't have a single unifying organization that regulates that can be reported to. We do have some prominent organizations like the Association for Computing Machinery, IEEE, and so on and so forth, but these do not unify IT professionals. We do have also certifications. We do have different certifications that exist, but there's nothing really that stands out that for professionalism. We have those like for networking. Remember that the Cisco's and so on and so forth. But these are usually overtaken as brands. But a certification is helpful, but most of the time in the IT world, this is not seen as extremely important. Most of the time for the IT profession, the management would just rather prefer that you can get things done. Not many people think in terms of our ethical codes of conduct, our principles by which we run by. We also have government licensing. We do not have a body of authority for Uganda, but in some countries like the US, there are some which are done at state level. Again, this also points out to probably we have not yet fully understood the power of IT and then the need for the IT professionals to have those codes of conduct. So these again point out to some of the issues why we don't have them. So we have few international or national licensing programs for IT professionals. There's again no universal accepted core body of knowledge. Unclear who should manage content and administration, primarily because I think we still want IT to be free. People want to be free to say what they want at any time that they want. So these are common ethical issues or things that not need to be looked at. Software piracy is one of them. For a developing country like Uganda, this is still a very questionable part. Inappropriate use of computer resources, data privacy and protection. Uganda also has that law enacted, but yeah. Again, these are things that you normally find in any ICT policy. So the policies are the things that will help. One thing that really help protecting organizational systems and guide on ethical codes of conduct. So they tell the user how to behave while using organizational systems. Then they also guide the IT profession on how to use these systems appropriately. You can think again some of the ethical issues that have been encountered, but especially in terms of adoption of ICT in our everyday life. You can think about this, and this can be a topic for the next class that we have. Do we have any questions so far? Do we have any questions so far? If no, can we move on to our presentations, our group presentations? Hello, can you hear me? Am I still shaky?
No, doctor, you're stable.
Okay. Shall we look at Aristoc, our strategies? Or are we tired?
Not really. But I was still compiling. We got a bit caught up. So if it's okay with you, could we extend on that if you don't mind?
No, that is okay with me also. It's okay with me. We can extend that to next Saturday. And so next Saturday, we'll look at those presentations. That will be, I think, our fifth session, not so?
Yes, I think it will be
Okay.
fitted, yes.
Okay, so I think we are still on time, eh? We still have time. Okay, so then do we have any question? Any question or any issue we need to think about?
I say